Hey y'all, I'm Sean.
I'm Matthew, and we are Broken Dreams Reborn Special Edition.
Emphasis on broken dreams today.
Yeah. So, as y'all know by now, we picked out an RV, and everything seemed to go smoothly. We were told it was in pretty good shape, some cosmetic blemishes, the usual stuff. It was a 2016. So, we got the inspection back, and I mean from our inspectors, who were wonderful, by the way. We'll put in a video all about our inspectors when we're done with this process, but they were fantastic. They knew exactly what to look for, and what they basically found was this is a big heaping pile of junk. It doesn't look that way from the pictures. It looks all purty, and that's what we thought, and we took the word that from the dealer that it was good. And the dealer, I'm not saying they were trying to hide stuff from us. They don't know. They're not inspectors. Their technicians aren't even sometimes really well versed enough to see these things, I guess, or maybe they are and they hit it. I don't know. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know, honestly. So our inspector looked at it, and they found, for example, that the AC units are blowing hotter than the air that goes into them. They found that, the usual cabinet doors and stuff like that, but they also found that when you turn the furnace on, there's an overwhelming odor of like ammonia. For those of you who have had animals like we have, you know the smell. Maybe you didn't change the litter box in time, or something happened and an accident, a whoopsie by your dog, and that's the smell. So bad. And there was hair that they found in some of the there's floor vents for the air conditioning, and so they found hair in there. The dinette where you have your kitchen table, all right, go outside of the rig and then push on that slide, and water starts to come down from the windowsill, from underneath that gasket, if that's what it's called. That's not normal. They took a video and showed us, and it's soft on that wall. Soft to me means water intrusion on a regular basis and mold. One thing we are really, although they didn't say mold, but that's 1 + 1 is 2. And one of the most shocking things, and these are professional inspectors, they have done this for years. When they got on the roof, they saw the lap sealant. We were told yesterday by one of the people at our dealer that, yeah, they resealed the roof for you. And I was happy. I was like, yes, the more stuff they can do, the better. Long-term, good quality. Amen to that. Hallelujah. But then when he showed us the pictures, he said he has never seen workmanship done like that before. We'll try to include pictures if we can.
Insert a picture.
Yeah. You'll see it looks like, as I've told our dealer, I said it looks like a blind third grader just made little pretty dots like they were playing with an ice cream cone or something and just dripping here and there. That's it. They missed most of the cracks. It wasn't practical at all. You'll see the picture, so I won't go on about it. Basically, the research we did on this brand was one where it was a surprise to us. We had done our research. We knew who was top dog, and for buying a used unit, what we wanted, basically, or what we were willing to accept from a quality standpoint. And this brand we had never heard of, ever. And so we did some really quick research, and everything looked okay, and the RV itself looked great. And basically he said, if this were taken care of from the very beginning, then it could be in good shape, but it obviously was not. He said it obviously sat for 6 months at a time, which we know it did because Snowbirds bought it from Nebraska, and they sold it in Florida, so they let it sit, and they didn't do. He said these people never got on the roof. They never hired anybody to get on the roof. I can prove it. So it's just not good, and we're not taking it. So we're losing this. And tell them about the financial aspect of all this.
Well, we put down a deposit, but they're going to refund us the deposit. But because of the time of the year and everything, right now it's February the 16th. We were supposed to have the deal wrapped up the end of February, so we had to start planning for RV parks because, they're still full. And we needed one in Florida because we don't have the truck yet. So we went ahead and made a reservation and put down a deposit for an RV park in Florida for the month of March. So I'm not sure how much of that is refundable. And then we had scheduled for solar in Indiana, so we went, and that's around Memorial Day, so everything gets booked up. So I think we had 2 parks up there booked, and that is as far as we had gotten. So we have to cancel the reservations because now we don't know when another RV is going to come along. And one thing the inspector told you on the phone was everybody's buying an RV and they're very hard to find. And so it's just disheartening because I was telling Matthew, I said, well, especially after yesterday when our dealers said they were doing all this stuff, and I'm like, wow, I think they're doing this because they know we're having an inspector come. And so, and everything that they told us that they found, like one of the things, the fireplace didn't work. I'm like, okay, well, they told us the fireplace didn't work, and they're going to fix it. And so that made me feel good because and they said, oh, and by the way, we resealed the roof or whatever they did, the lubricant. And I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be good. And then we got the report back and it was awful. It's just kind of like your dreams got busted again or broken. It's just like, oh. So that's just where we're at right now. And we just wanted to film right after it happened so you could see just the emotion of it all. And it's just, we don't know what to do. We live in New Orleans right now, so we're 9 hours away. So we rely on the dealer to be like, well, I didn't smell anything when I walked in the unit. And then you have to get an inspector. So it's like, would we be better living closer, down there in Florida and go and see the units ourselves before we keep wasting money after money getting the inspections done? And
we don't really have the budget for a high-priced apartment, which what we would call, because our house wasn't very expensive. And now we're staying with family, which is also not very expensive. So do we move to Florida? And reasonable people would move to Florida to be by the RVs they want to buy, but there's the budget. And then the inspection itself, to us, is not cheap, but 100% worth it. I would highly recommend anybody who's buying an RV, even a new one, brand new right out the gate, get it inspected from an independent third party and make sure that they don't just have the certification, make sure they have the experience. See if the reviews back them up. And I have to tell you, it is a blessing from God having gone through this, our eyes being totally open before we bought this. Can you imagine what would have happened if we bought this and we found these things? The sidewall is soft, might be mold. They had a whole bunch of gaskets here, seals there that were either degraded or sections were missing, which you can always fix. But if you're told everything is, hey, number one, it's the best from the beginning, and you're a newbie like us and you don't think to check those things like immediately, you're like, hey, 6 months to a year, I need to get up there and I need to look at everything. No, these things are bad now. They just had a rainstorm last night and today was the inspection, and that's why there's water literally coming out of the sidewall. So God has blessed us by opening our eyes to this unit. It could have been an unmitigated disaster from our point of view financially. So now we get to wait.
And I don't know if you're like, well, why don't y'all just get an RV where you're living in New Orleans? Well, they don't, for some reason, have dealers here in New Orleans. I think
not a lot.
They have some in Hammond, which is an hour or so away. It's kind of weird. Like, Florida has, like, the mecca of the RV dealers. And maybe Texas does, too. But Texas is, I don't know if it's farther away from New Orleans or not. But our residency is in Florida. And we're just new to all this. And for taxes and stuff, we would just rather buy something in the state that we're a resident of, because we think it would be an easier process. And let's just say if we did find an RV in New Orleans, we don't have the truck to take it anywhere right now. So,
and also from our point of view, when we have a year like this, 2021, which is still going gangbusters with RV sales, some people say, oh, it's only up 5%, it's not that much. Well, you try to buy one. They are up. I'm telling you, I don't care what the stats are. They're flying out the door. At least the good ones are. And we need an area where they have lots of RVs, because that'll give us a better chance at actually getting one. So we don't know what we're going to do yet. We're going to pray about it, think about it, strategize. We'll have to make a decision really quick. We've already talked to our dealer. We're getting the deposit back, which is, at least that's good.
So we know a lot of y'all were excited from our last video when we're like, you know, yay, we bought an RV, but the balloon got deflated. And we just wanted to share our process with y'all.
It's not the kind of thing you like to broadcast, but, you know, we've made mistakes along the way, and we'll continue to make mistakes along the way, not on purpose, but we just want to show you what's real. You know, when we get to the glorious boondocking sites and RV parks and meet up with all the fantastic people, we're going to show you the good times, but we got to go through this first, and we want to show you the truth.
But thank y'all for sticking with us.
Yes.
As we're in this holding pattern. We don't know how long we'll be in the holding pattern, but we'll try to keep putting out content that is related to RV, even though we're kind of just stuck in sticks and bricks right now. But we're just documenting our process and seeing if it helps other people that might be in the same situation that we are in.
Yep, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of the group, part of our BDR community. From our hearts to yours, it really means a lot to us that you're here and participating. Please share with a friend if you know anybody who might be interested. And thanks for being with us, and we look forward to whatever is in the future together.
Yeah, thank you for all the support. Bye.
Bye.